Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about a kraken that was named after a drugstore. For back in the '80s, there was like a Rexel, a drug. Anyway, Island Walk Swamp Walk is increasingly harder to block, as those are two very popular lands. But when he deals combat damage, you get to cast one of their instants or sorceries in their yard for the free, and of course, it exiles it afterwards. So it's I like that ability. I like that ability a lot. Now, Rexel does lend itself to a certain amount of mill thought. So let's go through a little bit of mill cards. It's not. I think this deck suffers maybe from an identity crisis because you kind of want to do mill, but then you kind of don't, and then you. But anyway, I tried to strike as much of a balance as I could. So let's look at the tiny amount of mill that we've got. We have Hedron Crab, which is just pretty much so I have something to do on turn one if I get crazy lucky. Archive Trap, because evolving wilds and fetch lands and everything, it's nothing to pay this for zero. Somebody's going to do it. Mind Funeral. Mill, you hit 4. That puts a lot of targets in the yard for Rexel because it's all about playing stuff from your opponent's yard. Now, Pilfered Plans, I really kind of like. You draw 2, they mill 2. It's totally upside here. Whispering Madness. I like that you can cipher this onto a creature, which we ain't got a lot of creature. We got a little bit more than the last deck, but M19 gave us Psychic Corrosion, which is pretty strong, where you want plenty because it's each opponent. Each opponent's going to mill, so you get to pick who you want to attack based on the good stuff they have in their yard, which is pretty neat. Of course, it's a lot like Memory Erosion when they cast. And then, of course, I have good old-fashioned when you absolutely positively have to mill somebody, Traumatize. Now, a lot of decks I use Traumatize on myself, but this one obviously is not the case. So before we get to the creatures, let's look at our mana fixing here. Of course, I have Mana Lith, and most of this is just mana fixing. Yeah, it kind of doubles as ramp too, but it's pretty much all the blue-black artifacts that tap for mana. Now, because we are going to be in fact milling, we're looking for instant sorceries, but hey, creatures are going to hit the old yard too, right? So I picked out cards that animate from any yard. Rise from the Grave, good old-fashioned Animate Dead, and I kind of like this Extract from Darkness thing because they mill too, and then you get a creature. Now, I highly recommend don't play the lottery if they don't have creatures. But it says from a graveyard, so that's pretty neat. So let's look at our creatures. I put Tidehollow Strix in because it's a decent card. It's flying in Death Touch. It's a blocker from way back. Also, generic card. Dimir Doppelganger. Going to exile a creature. And I love the fact that it still has that ability. So as you are... Now, it's not sorcery speed, so you can do this in response to, graveyard shenanigans. Consuming Aberration. Wow. Yeah, it's just a beating on a stick because it counts total yards. Now, Stormy here, there was an early part of my mind that wanted to go blue, black, Kraken, tribal, but I was like, no. But Stormy makes not only your general unblockable, but it shuts down a lot of attack as well. So, kind of like that. Now, C's deck is, of course, straight mill, Mirko Vosk, as it were. Now, Mind Shrieker is cutesy, and the reason why I'm running Mind Shrieker is because of all of the things that you put on top of your library. Now, as we know from Commander 18, there's going to be a top of the library matters deck, and that's pretty much miracles. But, nothing's better than somebody mystical tutoring something or worldly tutoring. Vampiric tutor, I guess, would be the best, and you just be like, hey, it's gone. What's up? Dreamborn Muse is just straight about milling the cards. Mind Leech Mass. I kind of like the Mind Leech Mass. It's a 6/6 with trample in blue-black. Huh? Okay. But you get to play spells from their hand. So this started leading me down a road. It really did. It started leading me down, well, let's just play their stuff. We're playing their stuff in their graveyard. Let's play their stuff in their hand. We'll play Thaladel so we can, you know, play artifacts. And then our last creature is Mortivore. Now, I do apologize for the foreign language here. Mortivore has power and toughness equal to the number of creatures in all graveyards, and it has black regenerate. But I do like the whole, take your stuff thing. So I'm running one control magic, a steel artifact, a steel enchantment. Now, steel enchantment is, I agree with the boys over at the EDH Recast, underplayed. Many times. Omniscience just got a reprint, folks. I'm just saying. Grip of Phyresis. Yeah. It's a dead card a lot of the time. But a lot of equipment is a real deal. And if you've got your own thing. But if they've got boots, and you need to target that dude because you've got some. I guess let's get through the removal. We've got two kinds of removal here. We've got the black kind and the blue kind. So here's the black kind. Wait till creatures get out on the board, and we're just, well, except for this one. I like this one because it leaves our dude alone. But it's pretty much wait till it gets out, and I'm just going to kill it. I'm running Terror again. No, it's not the unlimited one. But now, Deadly Tempest here. I found this in the Commander binder and binder for that year, and I just maybe this card just slipped my mind. I don't know that I've ever put it in a deck. It's been up there for since the thing came out, but I really, really like it. And then we got blue removal. Blue removal, which is weird because as far as a creature goes, whether it's counterspelled or murdered, it doesn't matter. It's a card for card. Well, I mean, it does if sick or haste or whatever. You can't use it and comes into play effects and whatever. But what I'm saying is, a counterspell will put people on tilt like a removal card won't. So, that being said, let's tilt the table. We've got counterspell. We've got cancel. By the way, have y'all seen the online? There's a guy that's done an altar of this particular art. You can imagine what it is. It's pretty dang funny. Dismiss, rewind. Of course, we got rewind, so we're going to play unwind. Why is there no fast forward card? Spell pierce, dissipate, negate. Now, undermine, insult to injury. Or actually, oh, yeah, which would you like first? Let me read the flavor text on that one. Then, of course, we have Sulangar's command. And let's tighten up, spread out a little bit so that we can see them all. This is kind of, I love that last mode. Just murk the walker. Now, I've got just a generic cards here. Visions from Beyond is more than likely just going to be an ancestral recall for you. I mean, yeah, if you draw it early, it's not. You draw it late, it's you just drew 3 cards. Vision Schemes, each player draws 2. Combined with the every time we draw, you're going to mill, things like that, pretty neat. Now, kind of a bigger version is the Prosperity. You can just net everybody draws a bunch of cards. Oh, look, y'all got a discard. Minds Aglow is one that people are not responsible with. Now, I have a problem with the Join Forces mechanic. I do like it, but here's my problem with Minds Aglow and other Join Forces cards. Okay, I cast it, and I'm going to dump in 2 mana because it's, turn 4 or 5, whatever. And it's going to go around the table, and a couple people are going to play. And by the time it gets done, we're going to draw 5 cards. Even the people that didn't contribute get to draw the cards. Because each player draws X, where X is a total amount of mana. So you're one guy over there who's like, no, we're already drawing 4. I ain't putting my mana into it. I'm going to save my counterspell mana, whatever. I think that they should tweak this a little bit if they do join forces again to do only participating players get to participate, pretty much. But that's just me. Anyway, that being said, people are not responsible, especially if you draw it late game and the hands are low. People are not responsible. They're going to dump all their mana into it. Ponder. I don't know how Ponder got here. Of course, Spreading Seas is for that, got to get through with that island walk. Whisper Silk Cloak is, of course, going to keep our commander all safe in the red zone. And Memory Plunder is pretty much a one-shot deal. A one-shot Rexel. So, and then our last card is probably one of my favorite instants that they've ever made. I love it because nothing is more awesome than... we all know what living the dream here is, right? Because you're playing Mill. And yes, Liliana's Dark I can't think of it. The 9-mana card that you get all dead things back. I would love to play that card. I would love to own that card. It's sadly not present. But if somebody does have it, or any other thing, I mean, you're just Living Death. Okay. A lot of people play Living Death. It's been printed a bunch. Rise of Dark Realms. That's the card. Rise of Dark Realms has not been printed a bunch, and it's well over $10. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll get another one. But, Gather Specimens is still an awesome card. But it is one of those cards that you kind of get greedy with and you want to get max value out of. But that is what I have got for Mr. Rexel. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And by now, we should... this is going to be several days. We're probably going to have the full spoiler by the time this comes out. Obviously, I don't now the day I'm recording, but I do appreciate you watching. I'm excited for Commander 18. I know y'all are too. Maybe we'll get a ton of good stuff. Loving the Varchild. Loving the Xantcha. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.